Hey friends, and welcome back to Stronger Every Day. Today we're going to dive into a verse. It's Philippians 4:13. I can do all things which he has called me to do through him who strengthens and empowers me to fulfill his purpose. I'm self-sufficient in Christ's sufficiency. I'm ready for anything and equal to anything through him who infuses me with inner strength and confident peace. Love that verse. One of the things that I kind of tried to highlight is I can do all things through him who has called me to do it, to fulfill his purpose, right? So I can go out here and say I can be a WNBA star. I'm decent at basketball. I played basketball in middle school and high school, but I'm not that level, right? I could say I'm a tennis star. I could say I'm a movie star. I could say I am going to be in the opera. There's lots of things, but God's not giving that gift to me. He's giving it to others, and I get to enjoy it because they have that gift. But it's what his purpose for my life is. And I've told you before, for the longest time, I really didn't know. I've always been an animal person. I'm an animal advocate. We probably in my lifetime have rescued, spayed, neutered, given vaccinations, and adopted out probably 50 animals, and that's not including the ones that we've become their forever home, right? If I see an animal in need, that's just in me to help, right? And for a long time I thought, well, that's my purpose, like that's where he's leading me to go, and I think to an extent it still is. I'm always gonna have that in my heart. We have a lot of animals. We have cats and dogs, and we also have goats and chickens, and we may have a cow. It's interesting that I've heard many people say, I want to be one of your animals, like just, the level of care. First off, my kids have blessed me far more than I've blessed them. And by kids, I mean my 4-legged babies and 2-legged. Actually, now that we have the chickens, we're not blessed with 2-legged kids, so we have 4-legged. Well, I guess we are blessed with 2-legged because we have chickens, but you know what I mean. And it's very important to me anytime we bring an animal home to our homestead is that we're able to provide for it, and that we give it the best level of care that we can and the best level of protection that we can. I said in a video on my other channel that I'm not a helicopter parent. I'm a fighter pilot parent. Like, I want to protect, and I want to defend, and I want to keep all bad things away, right, from my babies. And so for a while, I kind of thought that was my purpose. And then I've always had a love for our military, our police, fire, EMS, dispatch, rescue, military families. I've always had a passion there. And so for a while I thought, well, that's where I'm supposed to be, and something helping that area. And then a year ago, I had a little talk with God, and he called me to help people, in particular Christians that are struggling with mental health issues, and let everyone see kind of my story and how much God has loved me through it, and the fact that he's never left me behind, despite some of the things being said today, that you can't be a Christian and have mental illness. It's a lack of faith, a lack of loving God. And I've said before, if not for God, I wouldn't be here today. That he's carried me, and I've never felt closer than when I'm struggling with depression and anxiety, because I know that he's actively carrying me, that he's actively carrying me through life. And without him, I would not be here today. There's no doubt in my mind about that. And so his purpose looks a little different than what I thought my purpose was. I'm more shy until you get to know me. I'm more quiet. Once you get to know me, I'm a talker, but before then, I'm more of an observer. I'm more in the background. I am more shy than once I get to know you. I do not like being in front of people. I was super nervous at my wedding, not because I was nervous about getting married to Nick. I knew, actually the second date, I knew that he was the one for me. And it was the fact that I was going to be standing in front of people. That's what made me nervous. Public speaking makes me nervous. I tend to start stumbling over my words. You'll see me a lot of times even talking to you guys, and I'm pretty comfortable talking to you guys, that I'll scratch my nose, or I'll scratch my hair, or I'll fidget with my hands. It's an anxiety thing. Like, my head's not itching, my nose isn't itching, my hands aren't itching. I mean, occasionally I guess they are, but it's more of an anxiety thing. And I'm getting better, but it's still, you know, when he called me, first off, if you had 1,000 people in the room, I would have never dreamed he would have said, I want that girl. That's who I want to come on here and talk to people and help people, because I have a past. I have a background that isn't glowing. I have, there's people that I've grown up with, and that I know that I think, man, those are wonderful examples of being a Christian, and I'm not that person. I'm becoming that lady, that person, but it's taken me a while, and I've been a Christian for a long time. But it's taken me, my nose is actually itching now that I said that. It's taken me a while. So I would not have chose me. And coming on here and telling very raw and personal and detailed information about my mental health is something that I've tried to hide for years. 27 years. I did not want other people to know that I struggled. I wanted to appear mentally stable and healthy, and appear happy, and life's great, and everything's peaches and sunshine and rainbows, and I don't have any worries, I don't have any problems, I'm a strong Christian. And I'm that Christian that, you know, you always hear about, they get some kind of diagnosis, and they don't cry, they're not upset, they know that God's in control, and they just start praying, Lord, be with me, you know. And that's what I strive to be. But to say that I'm that person, that's not me either. I would probably break down in tears and want to know all the what's my chances, what's this, what's that, what's life gonna look like, what's this gonna do to me, what, you know. But he picked me, and it's because that's his purpose, right? And so I had to kind of say, okay, well, you're gonna have to get over your fear of speaking. And even though I'm speaking one-on-one to the camera, more than one person sees the video, right? And so it's speaking to a group. It's telling you all things that I haven't told anyone ever, including therapists, counselors, anybody. It's being very open and vulnerable and raw, so that you understand that you're not alone, that I'm right there with you. And it is uncomfortable. There's days I'm watching my videos back to edit, and I mispronounce a word, or I stutter over something, or, you know, my hair isn't, I mean, you know, it is what it is. My hair is kind of always like this, or maybe the lighting isn't as great as I would like it to be. Maybe I wore the same outfit that I wore, you know, in the video before. Maybe I said something that I think, oh, please don't let someone take that wrong, you know, like just different things. But it's his purpose, and that's why it's easier, and it's becoming easy for me to come on here and talk about it, because it isn't my will, it isn't my gift, it's God. This is his channel. It's my face, because I'm the one, and I've said this before, he might have called 50,000 people, but nobody was listening. But when he called me, I listened, and I did what he's asked me to do. And so when you take someone like me who has a past, who hasn't been the glowing example of a Christian, and certainly not a glowing example of a Christian with mental health, who comes on here and tells you facts and truth about things that have happened to me, I think it's more relatable than someone who comes on and maybe puts on a persona. And I've had to really keep myself in check on that. And we talked about that a few videos ago, that I'd had some bad struggle, and I didn't want to share that because I never want to discourage someone that things can't get better. And I, you know, in my mind, I thought I can't come on here and talk about this, because I'm on that upward swing, right? I've had a good year, and then I realized that no ma'am, just because you have a good year or a good month or a good week doesn't mean you don't have a bad period in between all that. And that's just life, and that's real. I have not hit the depths of depression in over a year, but I've had depressive days. I've had anxiety. The past 2 days, I think this is day 3, I've had chest pain from anxiety, and I'm really not sure what I'm anxious about. We have a lot of things kind of going on here at our homestead, but nothing that I feel overwhelmed about per se. So why the chest pain, I don't know. It is anxiety chest pain. It's not like heart attack symptom chest pain. I've had this long enough that I can kind of tell the difference. Just different things. But I love that verse, because it's God's will. So like I can go out and say, well, I want to be a professional surfer. If I don't have God's gift on that, then I'm not going to be a professional surfer. You know, if I don't, I can go out and say, well, you know, I want to be whatever that looks like for you. And if that's God's idea and that's his purpose for you, then you're going to flourish in it. Not saying you're not going to have hard days, but you're going to flourish. It's going to be easier. It's going to be more enjoyable. That's, you know, we've talked about any job, there's stresses, right? Whether it's a stay-at-home mom, whether it's a homesteader, whether it's a doctor, a lawyer, whether it's public service, whether it's a custodian, whether it's the president, whether it's a captain on a boat, whatever job you have, even when you're called, even when God's leading you, there's going to be days that aren't quite so enjoyable. But the better far outweighs the bad. There's always going to be struggles and things. And I think people think, well, if I worked for myself, if I owned the company, you would still have struggles, right? Your ways would be enforced. Like, you know, if you thought that, this happens a lot, you know, the administration has these rules and regulations. They've never worked on that level. They've always been kind of in administration or in a different genre kind of thing. But and all the people under them think if they had half a brain, they would do X, Y, and Z. If I owned this company, we would do X, Y, and Z. And so it's what your purpose is. And sometimes your purpose is to be a lover. and to be caring and to be generous and to be kind of in the helps ministry. Sometimes you're kind of in the background. That's me. I love being in the background. I don't need to be front and center. The organization we volunteer for, I don't need to be front and center on any of those. There's some things I can be. There's things that I'm trained in and that I can do, but I prefer to be the one who is just like, you don't even have to say it. I've got what you need next, right? You don't even have to say, can you do it? I got it right here. I already knew you needed it, and it's done, and we're ready. Let's go. You know, I enjoy being that person. I enjoy being the helper. Just different things, and I can't say that I ever thought this would be my calling, especially with some of the things that have happened just in my past. Just mental health struggles have been severe. They've been, like I said, had it not been for God, I wouldn't be here. And so it's interesting coming on and knowing that there's such it's a peace. It's a privilege. It's a relaxation. It's a enjoyable thing to be able to come on here and feel led by God and doing what I believe in my heart that He's called me to do. It's something that I feel incredibly blessed to do, and I enjoy it. I enjoy it so much, and it means the world to me when something that He has said through me touches someone else, and that what He's called me to do is actually making a difference that He wants me to make. And so that's all the glory to God. That has nothing to do with me, other than it's my face and my voice that you're hearing every time somebody comments, or every time somebody messages, or every time somebody likes, or every time, you know, somebody subscribes. I think, go God. Like, it has nothing to do with Chrissy, right? It's 100% God, and it's pretty amazing. And so just keep that in mind, that find your purpose, find what you're passionate about and what God's leading you to, and that what you're passionate about. I thought for years, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to have an animal rescue, right? We're going to build like a barn type building, and it's going to have heat and air, and we're going to have a dog washing station, and we're going to have small rooms, not necessarily kennels, but rooms, and we're going to rescue dogs, and we're going to, you know, kind of make a business out of it. And that rescuing dogs and cats has happened, right? We do that all the time, but they're in our home kind of situation versus what I had envisioned, right? And that's okay. I thought for a long time that my why, my reason, my passion was going to be something to do with animals, and in a sense it still is, but my calling from God is to help others that are struggling with mental illness and let you know that God loves you. So we're going to end the video here. Check out that verse. I think it's a very good one. Just finding God's purpose for you, and knowing that you can do all things with God and with His purpose and timing. So I end every video this way. God loves you. I love you. Your family loves you. Your friends love you, and we need you here. We'll see you in the next one, friends. Bye.